Hi everybody, welcome or welcome back to the channel. My name's Nicole and this is Dusty Book Sniffers, and today we're here for the first readathon of the year that I'm starting, which is the Bootcamp Readathon. That has been put together by Courtney from Tangible Reads. All the information you need is down below. There are 10 prompts and I'm going to be working my way through them and vlogging my experience doing all the things that are on the prompt list. Alright, so let's get started. Good evening everybody and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I do a little bit of vlogging of my experience doing the Bootcamp Readathon. Alright, so the Bootcamp Readathon is the brainchild of Courtney from Tangible Reads. All of her information is down below. There are a ton of other co-hosts as well. They're all linked up down below. Now by now you've probably already seen my TBR video. If you haven't, I'll link that up down below as well. So what is the Bootcamp Readathon? The Bootcamp Readathon is where we have 10 prompts. Some are non-reading prompts, some are reading prompts, things like banned books, military characters, book over 400 pages, book under 100 pages, just to name a few. And then, as I said, there are little non-reading ones as well. So I will be putting the prompts onto the video as I go through. So whenever we clip into a new book that I'm reading or a prompt or anything, you'll get the prompt right at the beginning of that clip. I've been pretty successful so far. I've managed to hit quite a number of prompts and you'll get to see all of that. And I'm also, one of the things that I'm trying to do for January, this came about before Courtney reached out to me or anything like that, and that was to try to achieve walking every day for at least 30 minutes. You hit it sometimes and not other times, and on those days where I haven't walked, I've tried to do some sort of exercise, whether that be out in the garden, walking in the house, and all that sort of stuff, because we've had rain and all that sort of stuff, so that all plays a factor in it. So the next couple of weeks I'm hoping to get the gym all cleaned up and me in there, and then I will have no excuse except for to hold an umbrella to get to where I needed to go, which is the backyard gym, and then I've got a treadmill in there, so I'll still be able to do 30 minutes. So throughout these clips you will see the Fitbit, because I've got my Fitbit on. You'll see the Fitbit screenshots that I've done for each day, and at the time of editing I've just gone back and screenshotted those, so they've got the dates on them and all that sort of stuff and whatnot. And yeah, so that is basically how it's going to go. I am also aiming to do 10,000 steps a day by the end of January. So my steps are fluctuating a bit because it takes a little bit of time and I'm very unfit at the moment to get back into it. So I'm so glad that Courtney actually gave me this opportunity to be a co-host, because it's just the motivation that I needed. And so yeah, and I've added extra sprints in and all that sort of stuff. So you'll get to see all of that along the way. I'm not too sure how many videos we're going to have, but anyway, we'll see how we go. Okay, so as I said in the intro, I am here for the Bootcamp Readathon, and I'm so excited to be co-hosting alongside some other fabulous booktubers, and I've listed them all up down below so you can go and check them out, and we're having a lot of fun doing this as well. Now, I decided for the first one that I am going to read a small book. Now, there is only 10 prompts for this readathon and they will be listed up down below. I'm starting off with some banned books, and I'm going to be reading 2 banned books by George Orwell. Now, this is twofold. The reason that I'm reading these is because my daughter keeps hassling the hell out of me to read them because I haven't read them before, and they also can help out with my classics that I need to get to, that I've wanted to get to for some time. So what better way to kick the year off than with Animal Farm. This particular edition has only got, I think, just 100 pages. This particular edition has. I don't really know much about the book, except for that I know that there are animals that talk, and it's a little bit of political satire, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to go into it, read it, I'll obviously check in with you as I'm reading along, and yeah, we can discover what this book is about together. I have known about Animal Farm for ages. I had left school by the time the school that I was going to had got to this, so I never read it at school or anything like that. And if you've been around for a while, you know I've avoided the classics like the plague, but I do want to read this one. I'm not entirely sure when it was first published. As I said, I'm going into this totally blind. This particular edition was published in 2020, but it doesn't seem to have anything else about when the actual book was published. And it does have a few different bits and pieces about George Orwell in there and all that sort of stuff. So it's just got some footnotes and whatnot. And as I'm reading, we'll discover what they are. So the first book for the year for the Bootcamp Readathon is going to be Animal Farm. And the next one that I'm going to read will probably be 1984, because that one my daughter really wants me to read. All right, I'm going to get into it. When I get about 50% through, I'll come back, check in with you, let you know what this book is about. All right, I'll see you soon. Everybody, I'm out and about walking for my 30-minute walk, and I finished reading Animal Farm. Now, I was going to check in at a halfway point, but I didn't end up doing that because it was a very short book, and I got really sucked into this book. I'm not sure I totally understand it, but I've never been one to understand that sort of political system and all that sort of communism and was it totalitarianism and Stalin and all that sort of stuff. I'm not really up with it, but I found it. So I'm just going to talk about how I felt about the book. I found it interesting in the fact that, like, I can see the historical events that we've had happen in our lifetime, or my lifetime. I know some of the history and all that sort of stuff of, you know, Stalin and communism and, you know, the USSR and all that sort of stuff. It was very much a take on that, you know, and how fear can generate a lot of stuff for a lot of people, and how fear is a great motivator to get people to do what you want and all that sort of stuff. That's sort of what I got from it, and how, you know, one political party can say stuff and another political party says some stuff, and then, you know, they twist and skew it to their agenda and all that sort of stuff. And that's what I sort of got. So for those that don't know what Animal Farm is, it's written by George Orwell. It was a banned book. Why it was banned, I can only assume that it was because it was political in nature. I don't 100% know that reason why. And so basically you have a farm that's run by Mr. Jones, and he has his animals and all that sort of stuff, and then you've got the animals start to think that they can do it better and they can have a better life for themselves and all this sort of stuff. So basically the animals get together and they have a revolution and they run the farmer off his property, and so then they start to look after themselves. So they then, you know, have this song that's their mantra. They have these, the pigs are basically running the show and making sure that everything is okay and all that sort of stuff. And it's just, and they have what seems like a utopia, a good life and all the rest of it, but then things start to fall apart because people start to have their own agendas, and then that's where the political system sort of comes into it, and that's when it all goes pear-shaped. So their mantra that they had for a long time was 4 legs good, 2 legs bad, and it slowly goes on from that until and they weren't to have anything to do with human things. So they weren't to wear human clothes or anything like that. They weren't to sleep in the beds, and they kept changing these 7 commandments that they had. Someone was changing them to fit their own agenda and all that sort of stuff. So it was a really interesting book. I'm glad that I've read it. I don't totally understand the symbolism and stuff in it, but that's just because I've never been interested in that. I will have a discussion with my daughter about it because she does very much talk about that stuff, and maybe she can enlighten me. I probably do know it, I just don't realize I know it. You know, there's just things you forget from school and you don't think about and all that sort of stuff. But I'm really looking forward to going on to 1984. It's a little bit bigger book. I don't know if I'll get it finished this month. I am so unfit talking and walking. You can hear it in my voice, but at least I'm walking at a good pace, right? So yeah, so I'm hoping that I can get it finished this week. If not, I'll just fluff through it during the year and during the month rather, and all the rest of it. So yeah, so that is my take on Animal Farm. I don't think, you know, a lot of people might be put off by it and all that sort of stuff, but I don't think you need to be a person that understands all that information about it and all that sort of stuff. So at the end of the day, I enjoyed the book. I've given it 3 stars. I don't think it's a 5-star book, but yeah, it's got 3 stars from me, which is fine. And yeah, so I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm going to continue with my 30-minute walk, and I'll check in when I start the next book, because I don't exactly know what it's going to be just yet. I think it's going to be 1984. Anyway, I hope that you're having a good readathon so far, and you're getting lots of steps in or stretches or whatever exercise you chose to do. And I will see you on Sprint. Bye. Hi everybody, welcome back. Alright, so I read Animal Farm and I've been doing really well with my walking and everything, as you would have seen from the screenshots from my Fitbit. I am slowly increasing the steps up each day. If I don't make a day, that's fine, but I'm trying to get to 10,000 steps by the end of January. So my first steps are for 30 minutes a day, so I need to do those first, and then anything else is a bonus. So I'm actively walking 30 minutes a day. As you would have seen in the last clip, I got quite out of breath. Alright, so today, oh, my cat's out the front. That's Gus saying hello. He wants to be a star, but he's not allowed in here. So today I started the passage. I was doing some fabric dyeing for some custom orders and stuff like that. So I thought I didn't want to get into 1984 because I want to just sit down and immersive read that. So this one is a chunkster. It's got 900 pages in it. I'm not entirely sure what it's about yet. I have listened to about 120 pages right now, and it's just setting up the story. You know, I've got 900 pages, so there's a bit of world building right now. It's set in, I'm assuming in our time, because it's referring to things like Katrina, the hurricane that went through, and the war and all that sort of stuff. So from what I can gather, a group of scientists went into the Bolivian jungle, and basically something attacked them, and since then there have been tests done, and they're doing them on inmates that are on death row, and so these death row prisoners are taken, and this is all I really know right now, right? Okay, so they're taken, they're given a whole new identity, and essentially they are non-existent to the rest of the world, but they are taken to some place where they're doing tests on them or something along those lines. So I'm not 100% sure, because we're just sort of getting to that to find out what it's all about. I think it might have something to do with vampires, because bats were mentioned, and they keep throwing the word vampire around for this program that they're doing. So I'll get back to you on that. I'm obviously going to check in this several times for this one. So yeah, so yeah. This is the book that I chose for over 400 pages, and there's plenty. So from what I can gather, there's going to be 3 main characters, and we've just got to know them. One is a 6-year-old girl named Amy Harper Belafonte. One is a death row inmate who doesn't think that there could be ever a worse place than death row, and that's Anthony Carter. And then there's an FBI agent, and we're sort of with the FBI agents right now, and they're not real happy that they're going to get this young girl who essentially they're taking her to where they do the tests. So yeah, but they embark on a journey and all that sort of stuff. As I said, I'm only 100 pages in, and so I don't really know what else I can say about it. So I'm going to read it until I get to about 50 or 60%. I'll have a much better idea of what's going on then, and then I'll do my wrap up. But I'm going to go for my 30-minute walk right now. It's been incredibly hot here all day, and I've been doing fabric dyeing, so I've just had a shower to cool down a little bit, and the cloud cover has come over, which we always love that when it comes over in the afternoon. So I'm going to go for my quick 30-minute walk. I'm not going to try and talk this time while I'm walking, because that was ridiculous, until I get a little bit more fit. And yeah, so I will... You'll see my screenshot for what I did for today. As I said, today is the 4th, I think I said it. It is the 4th of January, so day 4, which is great. All right, I'm going to get on with it, and I will talk to you when I check in at about 50%. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. All right, today is January 6th, and it's Saturday morning for me, and I'm heading over to the coast. Okay, so I am meeting the prompt for the Bootcamp Readathon. I'm off to get some fuel because I'm almost on empty. Going to grab myself a drink. I've got about a 2.5 hour drive to get there. So through lots of bushland and stuff like that. Not much exciting happens on the road. But anyway, I'm heading off to the coast. I'm going to meet up with some friends, and we're going to do a little bit of cross-stitching. Surprise, surprise. But on the way, I'm going to be listening to my audiobook, which is the Wheel of Time, book 13. I've only got about 3 hours left on that, so I'm pretty excited to get that read and finished, and moving on to book 14, not 4. Let's go backwards a bit. But anyway, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting to finish. It's going to be sad to finish the series, but it's also going to be exciting as well. And I'll take some footage when I get over there. I've never been to this place before. I've driven past it heaps, but I've never been there. I'm not really going to talk much about what Wheel of Time is about, because I know that a lot of people that watch this video are actually just diving into the series, so I don't want to do any spoilers, because when you get to book 13, you're inevitably going to do some spoilers. It's a fantastic series. I highly recommend it if you're into fantasy, especially high-end fantasy. I think you'll really enjoy it. Yeah, it's really, really good. The author passed away before they could finish the series, and Brandon Sanderson finished the series out. So the last 3 books that I've been reading have been written by him with the author's notes, so with Robert Jordan's notes. So that's just a little fun fact. And then, yeah, once it's finished, though, we're moving on to the Harry Potter series, but that's another day. But it's super exciting that I'm getting out and about. I often don't leave the house, so it's often I'm just on the veranda where you see me on a Booktube and stuff like that, working, and you know, like I go and do stuff with my family and that, but it's rare that I go out and actually meet up with people. And one of my goals this year was to be a little bit more social and get out of the house a little bit more. So once a month I'll be going over to this town. But today's the first day, so it meets a prompt from the Bootcamp Readathon to go somewhere new and experience something new, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm also reading The Passage still, which is also one of the books that was reading, and I think it's for a book over 400 pages, I think, but I could be getting it confused with something else. But anyway, I've got 2 big chunksters on the go right now, so that's really exciting. But yeah, all right, I will check in a little bit later and let you know if I finish the book or not, and I'll show you when I get there. I'll show you around, how to take a bit of footage and stuff like that. I don't know what's there. I don't know if there's a lot there or anything like that, but I guess we'll find out together, won't we? So just to prove that I have left the building, I'm with friends, real friends. And they've brought me to a coffee bookshop. Like, do they want me to spend all my money? Probably. So let me turn the camera around, you can have a quick look. No, but even if you're So I'm not usually one to read a graphic novel or a book. Like, I'm assuming this is a graphic novel. That it's not something that I normally read, but Charlene Harris is actually she wrote one of my favourite series, which is the Sookie Stackhouse series, which is True Blood on TV. So I thought, this came in a book grocer box and I thought I'd give it a go. So, yeah, I'm going to give it a go. I'm curled up. It's Saturday night. I've been out today and met up with friends, and I thought I'll curl up in bed and read this one. And then when I'm finished reading this one, I am going to move on to an itty bitty book, which only has 95 pages in it. So, yeah. So I'm going to curl up for the night and read these two books. And, yeah. All right. So I'm going to get on with it. And I'll check in when I'm finished, and I'll let you know what I actually think about this particular graphic novel. All right. So I'll check in soon. All right, hello everybody and welcome back. All right, so yesterday I didn't check in on the way home because my phone went flat because I was, filming and taking photos and stuff like that. But anyway, as you've seen, I went to that little bookstore and there was a coffee shop as well, which was great. Next time I think I'm going to go a little bit earlier so I can sit there, read and have a coffee before everybody gets there and all that sort of stuff, because we normally start at 9 o'clock. Now, I left a little bit later because I didn't sleep very well, but if I get up a little bit earlier, I'll be fine. But anyway, while I was there, and what I wanted to talk about was I bought this, Heather Morris's The Sisters Under the Rising Sun. Now, this is set in World War II, from what I can gather. Yeah, 1942. So it's set around that era. And so I have read the Tattooist of Auschwitz. Anyway, I have read quite a number of, well, not a number, but I've read a couple of this author's books before. She has the Silke's Journey and the Tattooist of Auschwitz. She wrote, and I really enjoyed those. So they are like the Tattooist of Auschwitz is the first one, and then Silke's Journey was the second one, and that was a more in-depth look at one of the characters that was in that book, and I really enjoyed it. And there's a couple more set around that time as well. So this one, I'm not too sure. This one is about a group of Australian Army nurses. So yeah, that's all I want to read. I like to go into her books a little bit blind. It's a decent sized book, but I'm going to put this on my shelf, and I will definitely try and use it for some prompts and all that sort of stuff for readathons and whatnot. If not, I will just get into it anyway. It might end up being my winter read or something like that, because that was about the time I read her other books as well. So I got that. I had lots of fun with cross-stitching and all the rest of it, and I just took pictures of my friends' stuff because the other ladies don't like me taking photos and all that sort of stuff. So, well, they don't mind it, but they don't like being on camera and stuff like that. So I didn't want to impose on them or anything because it was my first time going to the group. That'll come later. So anyway, I took some photos of my friend's stuff. We're all working on the same project. It's a SAL, or a stitch along. So yeah, or start along, some people call them, because a lot of people start them and then don't keep up with the SAL. But anyway, this is just a private one that we're doing and all that sort of stuff. But it was really enjoyable to go over to a new place. So thank you, Courtney, for that prompt. It was really good. I enjoyed it. But I also, let me just head over here and set myself down, and I'm going to talk about the graphic novel that I started last night. So yeah, excuse my studio, it's a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a hot mess at the moment. So let me just pop you up here. There we go. Oh, hopefully I don't start anything on my computer. I'm just getting ready for the TBR-thon sprints. It's Sunday morning and all that sort of stuff. So let me just put this back here. Sorry to move you around so much. We'll just get you all set up and ready to go because my my computer's trying to start up again. All right, so I started reading this and I have finished it. Like, it took me no time at all. But colour me intrigued because I've never read a graphic novel before. It's by Charlene Harris and Christopher Golden. It's called Cemetery Girl. This is part 1 and it's called The Pretenders. And subsequently I have found them over on Kindle Unlimited, so I can finish the series off, and so that's what I'm going to do. So today I'm going to finish this series off. So essentially I'll end up reading 3 volumes. It's only a trilogy, so it'll be finished up today. So I'm going to count them as individual books, so that's an extra 3 books that I'll get done because they're individual on there. I was going to start it on my phone, but it was too small on my phone, so I've got my tablet out, that's on charge, and I'm going to read it a bit later. Probably finish the day off with it like I did last night because I slept really well after doing that. So yeah, so the artwork is different. Like, I don't really know what to say. Like, it just looks like a comic sort of scenario for me. It was pretty easy to read. It had a pretty compelling story as well. So it's basically following Celexa Rose Dunhill, lives in a cemetery hiding out from the world. And it starts out with her, so you in the first pages, which I think you've probably seen in the last clip, she's being dumped. Like, it looks like she's been killed and being dumped, but turns out she wasn't dead. She was just knocked out. And but she has no memory of how she got there or who put her there or anything like that. But something weird has started to happen when people are being laid to rest and all the rest of it, because obviously she's in a cemetery, so there's going to be funerals, and when they're being laid to rest, she can actually see their ghosts leaving. Subsequently, there is a situation where a ghost ends up in her, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, and then so she helps to solve that particular situation, but she doesn't talk to anybody and she just hides out from everybody. But the caretaker knows that she's there, and a lady named Lucinda knows that she's there, is talking to her and, you know, keeping her sheltered. Now, this book goes up, I think it was like 3 months she had been in the cemetery at that stage, so it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. Now, I must say, now, I've never read a graphic novel. This is my first graphic novel, so I'm glad I started with Charlene Harris, and I'm 100% sure that there are better ones probably out there and all the rest. I gave it 3 stars. Like, the story was good. I kept turning the pages. I wanted to finish it, and not because I was bored or anything. I actually wanted to see how it was going to play out. So, you know, I mean, I don't know how else to rate it except that it was okay. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. So I, as I said, going to continue on with this. I'll come back and check in with you once I'm finished it and let you know how I went. But yeah, I know that there are a lot more graphic novels out there that are probably a whole lot better off for me to read. Spy Family is one that comes to mind. Heartstopper is another one that's been recommended to me. So I'll probably have a look at them, not necessarily get them in the physical form, but see if my library's got them. If they don't have them, then I'll probably try and see if I can get them on KU or something like that and see what else is on there. Is it something that I'm probably going to keep gravitating towards? I don't know. I'm going to look at Heartstopper because so many people have told me I need to read that. So I am going to do the Heartstopper one, but I think I might actually wait till I've had them in the physical and my daughter wants to buy them. So I think we're going to wait until they are all in, but if I want to read them beforehand, I might go and buy them. I'll see how I go because they're not exactly cheap either. But that is Cemetery Girl, book 1, The Pretenders. I'm looking forward, and I was stoked to know that I could finish it off because I don't want to buy them. I mean, this came in a box, and I'll probably move this on to to a book exchange or something like that. But I'm glad they're on KU, because I can just read them on KU and then they're done. So yeah, so that is that one. Now the next one that I started was the Bluettes, and I've only read one page, so I'm not going to talk any more about that, but I'm hoping to get that finished today as well. And then that knocks those few over, and I'm still working on The Passage and also The Wheel of Time book 13. The Wheel of Time book 13 will probably be finished up in the TBR-a-thon sprints, because I've only got about 50 minutes left of that, and then that'll be done. So I'm looking forward to getting that finished, and Coda and I are going to be starting, by the time you see this video we've already started it, but we're going to be starting book 14. All right, so I'm going to head off and get myself a cuppa and get myself situated for the sprints, and I'll check in once I'm finished all the things, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today. As you can see, I did a lot of the prompts and all the rest of it. I still have a number of books that are going over into sort of week 2, maybe even week 3. But The Passage is quite a chunky book, and I dare say it's going to take me a month to read that. I'm just reading it on the weekend, so I'm about halfway through that now, and so yeah, so I'll be doing a check-in in the next video for that, and let you know what it's all about and all that sort of stuff. And obviously I'll finish some books along the way, and I will endeavour to get to those graphic novels that I said I was going to read, and that I didn't get to in this vlog. So I am endeavouring to get to those, and I will also probably do a little bit of talking about Wheel of Time and all the rest of it. I'm sort of holding off on that because the simple fact is, and that was for the audio book prompt, and I'm sort of holding off on it because I know that a lot of people have just started it, but I'm also at book 13, so will they remember what I talked about by the time I get to book 13? And it's a bit hard, because it's hard to talk about the book without giving spoilers, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe share across the social with your friends, and as always, keep turning those pages, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.